Hello. In today's lesson, we will discuss a new concept, that is the concept of ratio and proportion. What is a ratio? I'm sure all of you know what a ratio is. A ratio is used to compare two quantities. The earnings of a nurse is, let's say the earnings of a doctor is 20 times the earnings of a nurse. Right? Now, a table is 3 times the length of a room. What we are doing here is comparing two quantities. The height of one building is 5 times the height of another building. You see, a ratio is used to compare two quantities. Alright, let's practice that with an example. Consider a rectangle. The length of the rectangle is L equal to 4 centimeter, and the width of this rectangle is W equal to 2 centimeter. Alright? The length of the rectangle is 4 centimeter and the width is 2 centimeter. We can compare the length and width by writing a ratio. I want you to listen to this carefully. I'm going to write a ratio of length to width. There is a special meaning for that. How do you write the ratio of length to width? That ratio is L divided by W. The ratio of length L to W is L divided by W. And what is that equal to? In this case, that ratio is 4 centimeter divided by 2 centimeter. That is 2. Now, what does this ratio tell you? We took the ratio of L to W. It tells you the ratio is 2, means length is twice the width. That's the meaning there. On the other hand, if I take the ratio width to length, what will that ratio be? That ratio will be W over L, and that will be 2 divided by 4, and that will be 1/2. So you must be very careful in stating the ratio. Ratio of length to width is 4 centimeter divided by 2 centimeter, which is 2. It means the length is 2 times the width. The ratio of width to length is 2 centimeter divided by 4 centimeter, which is 1/2. It tells me that the width is 1/2 of the length. Very important result here. You see, the cost of one brand of a product is half the product of another brand. You can use a ratio to compare the cost of things. Okay, let's now look at another ratio. Alright, in this case we looked at the rectangle where the length is 4 centimeter and the width is 2 centimeter. Now another rectangle, let's consider another rectangle where length is 2 centimeter and the width is 1 centimeter. Look at this, it's a smaller rectangle. The length is 2 centimeter, width is 1 centimeter. If you notice here, I have used lowercase l and lowercase w in this case. The previous case I used uppercase L and lowercase w. Alright, tell me, what is the ratio of length to width in this case? Can you tell me, what is the ratio of length to width in this case? That will be 2 centimeter divided by 1 centimeter. You see, it's very easy to write the ratio. Length to width will be length is 2 centimeter, width is 1 centimeter. And that ratio equal to 2. It tells me that length is 2 times the width. You notice that the ratio of length to width in the previous example, which was a larger rectangle, is the same as the ratio of length to width in this case. In both the case, the ratio of length to width is the same. The ratio of length to width is the same in both rectangles. Two ratios are the same. Does it mean that the two rectangles are exactly the same? No. Now, that means uppercase W divided by lowercase w equal to, the uppercase W divided by the uppercase, I'm going to read that again. Uppercase L divided by uppercase W equal to lowercase l divided by lowercase w. Now, if you remember, the uppercase L divided by uppercase W, we had 4 divided by 2. And lowercase w divided by lowercase l divided by lowercase w is 2 over 1. What all it means is 4 divided by 2 is the same as 2 divided by 1. Is that right? Yes, that is correct. So the ratio for the bigger rectangle is the same as the ratio for the smaller rectangle. Length is twice the width in both cases. Can you give me the case of another rectangle where the length is twice the width? Yes, I can draw one for you. I can draw this rectangle. Look at this. A rectangle where the length is 6 centimeter, width is 3 centimeter. Ratio of length to width will be 6 divided by 3, that is 2. I can have any number of rectangles where the ratio of length to width is the same. Alright, now this is called a proportion. What is called a proportion? When two ratios are equal. When two ratios are equal, you get a proportion. You see, what that means is each of these rectangles are proportional to each other. If you consider this small rectangle can grow proportionately to become the big rectangle. In other words, the length and width will increase proportionately. So one ratio equal to the other ratio gives you a proportion. So you must be able to give me the meaning of a ratio and proportion. What is a ratio? A ratio is simply a comparison between two quantities. And what is a proportion? When two ratios are equal to each other, you have a proportion. A proportion establishes the equivalency of two ratios. Okay, we will now look at the process of cross multiplication, an important algebraic process that can be used very effectively in solving equations. Now consider the proportion uppercase L divided by uppercase W equal to lowercase l divided by lowercase w. Now, this can be simplified by cross multiplication. I want you to watch and learn. I know some of you already know this. What is the process of cross multiplication? Multiply the denominator on the right with the numerator on the left. You see, the lowercase w multiplied by the uppercase L. The denominator on the right multiplied by the numerator on the right. That will be lowercase w times uppercase L. And multiply the denominator on the left with the numerator on the right. Multiply uppercase W by lowercase l. And what does that give you? Uppercase W times lowercase l. Alright, let's put the values that we use and see what we get. We use the uppercase L as 4 centimeter and the uppercase W was 2 centimeter. Lowercase l was 2 centimeter and the lowercase w was 1 centimeter. Do you remember the values we used? The first rectangle had a length of 4 centimeter and a width of 2 centimeter. The second rectangle had a length of 2 centimeter and a width of 1 centimeter. Alright, so big L divided by big W is 4 over 2. Should be equal to small l divided by small w is 2 over 1. How do we cross multiply here? Now, the denominator on the right multiplied by the numerator on the left, what does that give you? 1 multiplied by 4 equals to 4. Is that right? 1 multiplied by 4 equal to 4. And what is the other cross product? 2 multiplied by 2. Now, if you look at this, 1 multiplied by 4, that is this cross product, and 2 multiplied by 2, which is this cross product, are exactly the same. Now, this is always true for a proportion. So, for a proportion, the cross product of a proportion are always equal. You see, 1 multiplied by 4 is the same as 2 multiplied by 2. In other words, lowercase w multiplied by uppercase L is exactly the same as uppercase W multiplied by lowercase l. And that is the characteristic of a proportion. For a proportion, these two results will be the same. The cross products are the same. Okay, there you are. Now, look at this example. 2 over 3 equal to 4 over 6. Is that a true statement? Yes? 2 over 3 and 4 over 6 are the same. If you simplify 4 over 6, you will get to 2/3. Now, this is a proportion. Let's take the cross product. 6 times 2 is 12. That is one cross product. The other cross product is 3 times 4, and that also equal to 12. Now, I have been always starting from the right and going to the left. It doesn't matter where you start. I can start here. 3 times 4 will be equal to 6 times 2. Alright? So, if I say the first cross product and the second cross product, there's no particular reason why we should call one the first and the other the second. Any one can be the first. So 3 times 4, that cross product, equal to 6 times 2, the second cross product. And so this is true for all proportions. Isn't that interesting? Alright. If the proportion is true, then the two cross product will be the same. Now, if the proportion is not true, then the cross product will not be the same. So if you want to check if a proportion is true or false, take the cross product. If the cross products are the same, then the proportion is true. If the cross products are not the same, then the proportion is not true. Let's do a day-to-day problem Don't you actually use these kind of things when you go shopping? A department store sells ketchup in 3 sizes. A 14-ounce bottle for $0.98, a 32-ounce bottle for $1.28, a 44-ounce bottle for $2.20. Now the question is, which of these 3 is the best buy? Now, which of them will give you more for your money? Are they all the same? Well, actually not. Now, how do you find which of them is the best buy? Well, actually, 14-ounce cost $0.98. Let's talk in cents. That will be easier. So 14-ounce cost 98 cents. What are the 2 quantities there? Ounce and cents. Now, suppose I ask you, can you give me a ratio for ounces to cents? Or now, give me the ratio of cents to ounce. What does that mean? How many cents for 1 ounce? Is it possible to write a ratio of cents to ounce? 98 cents for 14 ounce. What is a ratio of cents to ounce? Can you write that? So we first convert the dollars to cents and find the ratio of, watch this, cents to ounce. In other words, write cents on the numerator and ounces on the denominator, and that will be the ratio of cents to ounces. Alright, what is the ratio of cents to ounce in the first case? That will be 98 cents divided by 14 ounce. And what does this ratio represent? This ratio represents the price in cents of 1 ounce of ketchup. You see? If 98 cents buys 14 ounces here, how many cents will buy 1 ounce? That will be 98 divided by 14. That ratio actually represents the price in cents of 1 ounce of ketchup. Now, we will do that for all the 3. If you can calculate that for each of the 3, how many cents for 1 ounce of ketchup, then you can decide which is the best buy. Alright, let's start with the first one. The first one is 14 ounce for 98 cents. So what's the ratio? Take the ratio of cents to ounce. That will be 98 cents divided by 14 cents. Can you simplify that? What is 98 divided by 14? 98 can be factored as 7 times 14. Well, I stopped it at 14 because I have a 14 there. And the 14 and 14 goes, what does it tell you? The first ketchup is costing you 7 cents for an ounce. Alright, we go and do the same ratio for the second. The second one is 32 ounce for 128 cents. Okay, let's take the ratio. What's the ratio we take? We take the ratio of cents to ounce. The ratio is 128 cents to 32 ounce. Can you tell me what is that ratio? These numbers are pretty good numbers. You see, 32 times 4 is 128. You see, 4 times 32 is 128. Divided by 32, 32 and 32 goes. What does that tell you? This particular brand is only costing you 4 cents an ounce. You see? Okay, let's go to the next one and take the same ratio. What's the ratio? 44 ounce for $2.20. $2.20 is 220 cents. So 220 cents buys 44 ounce. What is the ratio of cents to ounce? It is 220 divided by 44. Okay? Can you do that for me? That's a very good number again. If you have some number sense, you would tell me 44 multiplied by 5 is 220. So 220 is 5 times 44. And 44 and 44 will go. That gives you 5 cents per ounce. So the first type of ketchup is costing you 7 cents per ounce. The second one is costing you 4 cents per ounce. And the third brand is costing you 5 cents an ounce. So you would say, alright, keep your very expensive one. I will go for this. This is the best buy, 4 cents per ounce. Now look at how we arrived at the conclusion. By studying a ratio. Ratio of what? Ratio of price to ounce. Number cents to ounce. That is a very useful way to look at when you buy things. Okay, let's move on. Decide if the proportion, this is a given proportion, decide if it is true or false. How do you know if a given proportion is true or false? What all you need to do is take the cross product. If the proportion is true, the cross product will be the same. So if the proportion is true, then the two cross products will be the same. Alright, we got 4 over 12 equal to 7 over 21. The first cross product is, it doesn't matter which one you take as the first. You can take any as the first. Well, let's take this as the first. 12 multiplied by 7, that is 84. The second cross product is then 21 multiplied by 4, that also is 84. What's your conclusion? The cross products are the same, therefore the proportion is a true proportion. Okay. Warning. Cross product will work only if the left hand side and the right hand side of the equation are simple ratios. Cross product will not work if the two sides are not simple ratios. For example, if I have, let's see, x plus 4 over a equal to 3 over a, well, the left hand side is not a simple ratio. It contains two terms. You cannot use cross product in such a case. Alright? Be careful about that. Let's move on. Let's now use the cross product to solve equations. Here we have an equation, x over 6 equal to 18 over 4. We can solve this equation by using the cross product. Alright? Since this is a proportion, we can find the cross product and set them equal to each other and solve for x. That's the method we will use. Alright, we have our equation, x over 6 equal to 18 over 4. Alright, take the first cross product. As I told you, you can take it any way you want, either that way or this way. Alright, the first cross product, let's take it as 6 multiplied by 8, 6 multiplied by 18 What is 6 multiplied by 18? It'll be very nice when you listen to my lecture, sit with a paper and pencil to work with me. When you want, you can stop the video and work on your own. 6 times 18 is 108. Alright, what is the second cross product? Will be 4 times x, and 4 times x equal to 4x. And the two cross products are the same, means this 4x equal to 108. And so we have 4x equal to 108. And to find x now, we divide both sides by 4. And that will be 4x divided by 4 is 108 divided by 4. On the left, the 4 and the 4 will go. And on the right, can you factor 108 looking at 4 here? Well, you can see 108 can be factored as 4 times 27. 4 times 27 is 108. And 4 and the 4 cancels, x therefore equal to 27. A very clean and efficient way to solve equations like this, using the cross product. Okay? Look at this equation, and there is a small little difference there. The numerator in this case is not just one number, it is a quantity. M divided by 5 equal to m minus 2 all over 2. Now the first thing to do here is identify this numerator as a quantity and group it inside a parenthesis. Very important. You got to consider that as a quantity, and before you do anything else, you need to group it inside a parenthesis. Do not take the cross product without using that parenthesis. In other words, if you take the first product 5 times, you got to say 5 times the quantity m minus 2. Very important. Okay, let's move on. Because you take the cross product, enclose the right side numerator in a parenthesis as it is a single quantity. It is that quantity divided by the 2. So it must look like this: m over 5 equal to the quantity m minus 2 divided by 2. And now you are ready to take the cross product. What is the first cross product? 5 times the quantity m minus 2. Watch that. Very important. It is 5 times the quantity m minus 2. And distribute that immediately. 5 times m is 5m. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. So the first cross product is 5m minus 10. What is the second cross product? Is 2 times m, that is 2m. And now the first cross product is equal to the second cross product. We can now form an equation. 5m minus 10 equal to 2m. And to solve it, what do? Move the 2m from the right to the left, and the negative 10 from the left to the right. That will give me 5m minus 2m equal to positive 10. 2m from the right goes to the left, becomes negative 2m. Negative 10 from the left comes to the right, gives you positive 10. And that is 5m minus 2m is 3m. 3m equal to 10. Divide both sides by 3. 3m divided by 3 equal to 10 divided by 3. What is m equal to, therefore? M equal to the 3 and 3 cancels. M equal to 10 over 3. which is actually 3 1/3. Okay, another one, a similar one. You can see both numerators are quantities. You need to first enclose each of them in parentheses. 3m minus 2, enclose that in a parenthesis. 4 minus m, enclose that in a parenthesis. And then you are ready to take your cross product. Enclose both numerators in parentheses, and it will now look like this. Always do this before you take your cross product. Okay, what is the first cross product? The first cross product is 5 times the quantity 4 minus m, and distribute that. 5 times 4 is 20, and 5 times negative m, I always tell you what's the sign. 5 times negative m is minus 5m. Alright, this is the first cross product. Let's now take the second cross product. What is the second cross product? 3 times the quantity 3m minus 2. 3 times the quantity 3m minus 2. Distribute the 3. 3 times 3m is 9m. And 3 times negative 2 is minus 6. Now we have 2 cross products and they are both equal. We have the equation 20 minus 5m equal to 9m minus 6. Now this time I'm going to keep the variables on the right and the numbers on the left. Does it matter? Not really. We can choose which side you want the variables. Now this negative 5m I'm going to move to the right, and the negative 6 I'm going to move to the left. So you can see that now 20 plus 6, negative 6 from the right goes to the left, becomes positive 6, equal to 9m plus 5m. Negative 5m will move from the left to the right, become positive 5m. Now 20 plus 6 is 26. 9m plus 5m is 14m. And now to solve for m, we divide both sides by 14. Alright, divide by 14. 26 divided by 14 equal to 14m divided by 14. And of course the 14 and the 14 goes. M equal to, this is m equal to 26 is 2 times 13, 14 is 2 times 7. There is only a 2 that is common, we cancel them. That gives me m equal to 13 over 7, or it will be 1 and 6 over 7. Is that right? You should be able to write this as a mixed number. Okay, let's try another one. 7 shirts cost $87.50. Find the cost of 11 shirts. Well, if you remember our ketchup problem, we took a ratio there so that we can find the cost per ounce. How many cents was for 1 ounce? In the same way, we can take a ratio here. 7 shirts cost $87.50. And therefore, can you find how many dollars will cost 1 shirt? You see, once you find that, you can then find the cost of 11 shirts. So we will obtain a ratio. What ratio? Dollars to shirts. We got $87.50 for 7 shirts. We take a ratio of dollars to the number of shirts. So let X be the cost of 11 shirts, because we want to find the cost of 11 shirts. Start by saying let X be the cost of 11 shirts. Now we take the ratio of cost to the number of shirts. Cost, the dollars to the number of shirts. Alright, the first one is 7 shirts cost $87.50. Can you write a ratio of dollars to cents? What is the ratio of cost? Cost is in dollars. Ratio of dollars to shirts will be 87.5 divided by 7. 87.5 divided by 7. That is ratio of dollars to shirts. Okay? Now in the second case, let X be the cost of 11 shirts. So 11 shirts cost X dollars. 11 shirts cost X dollars. Can you write a similar ratio for dollars to shirts? What would that ratio look like? The dollars must be on the numerator and the number of shirts on the denominator. That ratio is X divided by 11. The ratio of dollars to shirts. X dollars for 11 shirts. And now these two ratios must be equal to one another, because what does this ratio represent? It represents the cost per shirt. This is cost per shirt. This is also cost per shirt, and therefore they are both equal. So let's put them equal to each other. 87.5 divided by 7 equal to X over 11. You have a proportion now. What can we do to solve this equation? We can now do cross multiplication. Let's go to the next slide. Alright, obtain the cross product. The first cross product is 7 times X. 7 multiplied by X is the first cross product. The second cross product is 11 multiplied by 87.5. Now, I want you to do that on your own. 11 multiplied by 87.5. I got it as 962.5. You know, very often I make mistakes, and you need to check it. So you multiply 87.5 by 11 and check if I got the right number. Okay, now the first cross product, the second cross product, those two cross products are equal. 7x equal to 962.5. To find x, we divide both sides by 7. Alright, 7x divided by 7 equal to 962.5 over 7. Alright, there we get 7 and 7 will go, and I'm going to depend on you to divide 962.5, divide that by 7. Well, I got that 137.5. I hope you will be able to go and do this on your own. Now, you see, look at the way I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it like this. 7 goes in 9 once. Look at that 1 there. Now 7 goes in 9 once. What is remaining? 2. 26. 7 goes in 26 3 times. 7 times 3 is 21. Now, from 26, take away 21, you got a 5, is that right? 52. How many 7s in 52? 7, 7. 7 times 7 is 49. Now 52 minus 49 is 3. And now a decimal. 3 and 5 is 35. 7 goes in 5. 7 goes 5 times in 35. So the answer is 137.5. Alright? Try and work your mind like that so that your mind becomes active. In order to do mathematics, algebra well, you got to have an active mind. Okay. That means the cost of 11 shirts is $137.50. A very good problem there, actually. Alright. Look at another problem. The distance between Singapore and Tokyo is 5,900 kilometers on land. And on a map, the distance between these two cities is 16 centimeters. Alright? The distance between Mexico City and Cairo on land is 13,900 kilometers. If you measure the distance on a map, what will be the distance on the map? Do you understand this problem? Two cities, Tokyo and Singapore and Tokyo, on land the distance is 5,900 kilometers, and on the map they are represented by 16 centimeters apart. And therefore, two cities that are 13,900 kilometers apart, what will be their distance on the map? Because it is the same map, you can take a ratio in each case and set them equal to each other. Now, what ratio will you take? First, remember, whenever you are asked to find something, call that something equal to x. The question here is, what is the distance between these two cities on the map? So start by saying, let x be the distance between these two cities. What are the cities? Mexico City and Cairo. Let x be the distance between these two cities on the map. Alright, now we take a ratio. What is the ratio we're going to take? Actual distance to the distance on the map. We are going to take a ratio of actual distance to the distance on the map. Okay, tell me. The ratio for Singapore and Tokyo, what is that ratio for these two cities? Ratio of actual distance to the distance on the map will be 5,900 divided by 16. You see that? A distance of 5,900 kilometers is represented on the map by 16 centimeters. So the ratio of actual distance to the distance on the map is this. What is this ratio for Mexico City and Cairo? Well, the actual distance is 13,900, and the distance on the map we said let it be equal to x. And this is the ratio for Mexico City and Cairo. And because it is the same map, these two ratios must be equal to each other. These two ratios are the same. Alright? It means 5,900 divided by 16 must be equal to 13,900 divided by x. We have now a proportion. We can solve for x by doing the cross multiplication. Let's go to the other slide, next slide, and do it. Alright, this is our proportion we produced. Ratio of actual distance to distance on the map equal to ratio of actual distance to distance on the map. Alright, the first cross product is 16 times 13,900, and I multiplied it out. I got it as 222,400. I want you to do that on your own. Don't depend on my figures. Alright, what is the second cross product? The second cross product is x times 5,900. Right, that is 5,900x. And what do we do with these two cross products? They must be the same. So, since they are the same, we have 5,900x equal to 222,400. Alright? To get x alone, we divide by 5,900. That will be 5,900x divided by 5,900 equal to 222,400 divided by 5,900. Now, on the left, these two will go. Can you simplify the right side? Right, you know, when a number divided by another number, if there are some zeros, you can actually cancel those zeros. These two zeros will go with those two zeros. You can make that number simpler. This is the same as 2,224 divided by 59. And then you got to try and divide that number. You know, I did it like this. That is 2,224 times 100 over 59 times 100. And 100 and 100 goes. You can avoid that step if you simply cancel two zeros from the bottom and two zeros from the top. Isn't that simple? Giving you the same result. And when you divide 2,224 by 59, you must get 37.7. I don't know. You must check it. Alright, divide this number by this and see whether you get this. Okay, now you must be familiar with these ways of solving problems like this. Let's do another one. The sales tax on a $250 television is $20. What is the sales tax on a 12.5 alkaline battery? Now what do you do here? Again, take a ratio. The sales tax on $250 television is $20. What is the sales tax on a $12.50 alkaline battery? Well, the first step is you have been told what is the sales tax on the battery. Start by saying let the sales tax on the battery is X. So let X be the sales tax on the alkaline battery. Alright, now what do? We take the ratio of cost to sales tax. Cost on the numerator, sales tax on the denominator. What is the ratio for television? Cost to sales tax. It is 250 divided by 20. So the ratio for television is 250 divided by 20. What is that ratio for the battery? Cost to the tax. Cost is $12.50 and the tax we said is X, which we need to find. So the ratio for the battery is $12.50, 12.5 divided by X. And now, these two ratios must be equal. Is that right? Okay, so there you have 250 divided by 20 equal to 12.5 divided by X. You see, taking that ratio gave us this beautiful equation. Now we cross multiply and solve for X. Let's go to the next slide. 250 divided by 20 equal to 12.5 divided by X. Cross multiply. The first cross product is 20 times 12.5. 20 times 12.5 is 250. Is that right? Yes? The second cross product is x times 250, or it is 250x. Now, the 250x must be equal to 250. The cross products must be equal. And therefore, to find the x, we divide both sides by 250. 250x divided by 250 equal to 250 divided by 250. What does that give you? X equal to 1 is the answer. The tax on the battery is $1. Now, very often these kinds of questions are asked in the test or final exams in a slightly different way. Let me show you a way the questions like this can appear in a multiple choice test. Now, this is the question. The sales tax on a $250 television is $20. What is the sales tax on a $12.50 alkaline battery? Now, the question will read like this. Which of the following is the correct proportion in order to do this problem? Now, you will be given 4 choices of proportion. In other words, let me give you 4 choices and see whether you can pick the correct proportion. Well, I'm giving you one here, 250 divided by x equal to 20 divided by 12.5. That is one proportion. And 250 divided by 20 equal to x over 20, the other proportion. Now, 250 divided by 20 equal to 12.5 divided by x is the other one. Alright, let me see what the next one can be. 250 divided by 12.5 equal to 20 divided by x. You see, I gave you 4 choices. The question will be, which of these proportions can be used to solve this problem? Well, now I have given you a method of setting up a proportion. What is the method? Take a ratio of dollars, the cost to the tax. What is the ratio? That will be 250 divided by 20. That is the first ratio. So our first ratio is 250 divided by 20. And that must be equal to, what's the second ratio? Cost to tax. The battery costs 12.5 and the tax is x. It will be 12.5 divided by x. Well, that is the correct ratio. Is that right? Yes, that's right. Now, suppose you did not see any of the given one the same as this. Is there a way to look for it? What you need to do is, you do the cross product. In this case, the cross product here is 250 times x equal to 20 multiplied by 12.5. Now, this is the cross product for the correct proportion. Therefore, if any of these is the same as this, then the cross product must be the same. That is the way to check. So check the cross product of each given ratio and see if it gives you the same cross product as the correct ratio. Alright, you must be able to do that on your own. Well, this has been a good lesson. I think did you enjoy this lesson? Well, I enjoy every lesson with you. I hope you enjoy too. You see, you got to really enjoy in order to learn. If you really do it just for the sake of doing it, you don't really learn much. You learn when you really want to do it and enjoy it. Okay, so go back and now do your homework and make sure that you understand all these concepts. I'm going to stop this lesson here. I will get back to you with another lesson of the unit 2 later on. Okay?